So I'm off to Zurich right now. I've run a small conference with an amazing team on learning and decision making, and I'll be there for a few days. So hopefully you'll get to see some of this along the way, and should be an exciting and interesting journey. I'll see you on the other side. So arrived in Paris. Now I'm gonna go to get a connecting flight in Zurich. My impressions of Zurich, my first impressions, is that it's very clean and people are very polite and friendly. Here comes my train. Kartuese Ittingen is a very special place. It used to be a monastery many hundreds of years ago, and it was converted into kind of like a community center and a hotel conference. The place is just absolutely stunning, and there's a great deal of peacefulness when you're actually there. I want you to see some of this amazing peace and serenity in the nearby gardens. So when you're an academic, when you're a researcher, when you are discovering something, you're a PhD, a graduate student, you go through a tremendous amount of guilt. You're always thinking about how guilty that you are. You're thinking about that you're flawed, that you can't do anything right, that there's so many better people than you. And I think about how that this is such like living in a monastery. Right now, I am at a Swiss monastery that's hundreds of years old. And the practice was to not talk. It's a Kartusian monastery. And the practice is to not talk all of the time as a monk and to reflect on how you are, frankly, a sinner, how you are problematic, and the way that you get through living in this world is to perfect yourself in some sort of way, to realize that you're a sinner, and to believe that the only way that you could do this is to work and to meditate, to pray. And I want to say that belief is deeply embedded into the institutions of the academic research game. It is very strongly built on the idea that we should feel inferior, that we should feel that we're not good enough. And the way that we actually improve is to do more work, is to point out all of our flaws. And I want to point out that I'm not sure if that's the best way to go about things. I'm not sure if that is the way that we want people to be as they grow through and get into the profession or the field of research. And I want to remind everybody, I think my central message here is that you are a good person, and no amount of work, no amount of research, no amount of putting in the effort, no amount of tearing down other people, no amount of displays of how good you are is ever going to fix the fact that you feel guilty and problematic. And I think that this feeling is so deeply ingrained in symptomatic of many of us in the research game that we need to take a step back and just say, I'm a good person. And I don't think I need to fix who I am. I think I simply just have to be who I am as it means at this moment. And I want you to reflect on that. I want you to think about that. I want you to think that I'm good enough. And research, tearing down other people's ideas, demonstrating to other people is that how good you are and your ideas are so much better than everybody else is not going to solve that. I think what you have to do is somewhat come to the conclusion that I'm just going to live at this moment, and I'm going to live to be me, and who I am at this moment is okay. And I can do a lot if I just reflect on myself as just being okay with who I am. I want you to take that going forward and think about that yes, we have these institutions of being somewhat of a monk in the research game, where we have to tear down ourselves and to be better because we're all sinners. But I want you to reflect on, instead of the fact that we're all sinners, reflect that we're okay. And we're naturally good people as we are. If we just simply take that step back and realize we don't need to prove to anybody else that we need to be better. We just simply have to live as we are right now. So I'm just walking around Zurich at this moment. After the conference, I decided to spend a little bit of time walking and seeing the city. It's pretty small, but it's actually really quite cute. It's nice. Maybe we'll get to see some sights together. So I decided to get cheese fondue at the Swiss Cherry restaurant. Hopefully it's going to be delicious. It smells very, very good, and it's nice and warm and toasty in here. It's actually a little cold outside today, but we'll see how it goes. Look at this wonderful fondue. It looks fantastic. Yum. It was an amazing dinner. Let's go listen to some church bells.
Crazy.
As I walk around here, I'm reminded on how different all of us, our lives actually are. It's really kind of remarkable that we all kind of have the same human traits in many of the things that we do, but our lives are so remarkably different on a daily basis. I think that's the really cool thing with this whole YouTube thing, is I get to connect with people all around the world. And even though that our lives may be different, we might live in different locations, gotta have a bit of a human connection. And that's this human connection sort of shows the humanity in all of us. So hopefully you get to learn a little bit of a lesson with this channel that, hey, everybody is human. Everybody has all sorts of mistakes and errors, and we just kind of bumble through life. And my philosophy is almost always, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm just bumbling through life, just like you are. Maybe you don't think that you are, but I think we all just bumble. All right. These church bells are truly amazing. The whole city was ringing at one point. So my flight got going bright and early this morning, and now I'm in Amsterdam just for a quick layover before I get to go home. But definitely I did not get any sleep last night, which was totally fine. But I think I got about 2 hours worth of sleep because I was too worried about getting up before the darn airplane as these things go. All right.